Mm-hmm.
Hi, this is Tracy with the Limelight Pet Project, and today I'm at Safe Horse Rescue in Redmond. We are all standing one horse length apart for COVID safety. And today we have Beauty, who's available for adoption, and we have Jane and Terry here with us. Tell us a little bit about Beauty, Jane. You've been working with her quite a bit. How would you describe her?
I have. She is a sweet, sweet, older Arabian mare. She, I think groundwork might be new to her. So she and I have been working with a long lead, going in circles, both directions, and helping her learn to back up. She's kind of stiff, so backing up would be really good for her, but it's difficult, so we're slow. And yielding her hindquarters, which really helps her mobility and balance. Doesn't really care to do that, so we're going at it slowly.
And Terry, about how old is Beauty?
We believe she's around 20 years old. She came from a situation of extreme neglect through animal control in Pierce County. We were able to bring her into safe and start to refeed her, get her to a good weight. The vets came and checked her teeth and got a dental for her. We realized that her teeth are just not what they used to be. As horses age, dentals are really important to keep level grinding or chewing abilities, and hers have a lot of waves in them, so she's unable to grind hay down properly. So we put her on a primarily a senior feed diet. She's able to go out and grass and turn out and graze, but we do hold hay off so that in case she might choke. So that's been really important. But you can see she's got a really nice shine in her coat now. She's been with Safe for just about 9 months, and she's really filled out, has a beautiful, coat coming in. I don't think the camera's picking up, but when horses come in as starved horses, they have what we call a starvation coat, and it starts to kind of molt out in different patches and bald spots, and those are disappearing on her. Almost all the remnants of the abuse that she experienced are disappearing. So she's a beautiful mare.
She's really transformed amazingly. She looked wretched when she came in.
Yeah.
Just really beat up, and the diet makes all the difference.
So she's an Arabian mare. How would each of you describe her personality? I'll let you go first, Jane.
She's smart.
Yeah.
She's real smart. She's opinionated. She's a mare, and she's Arabian, so that adds for some attitude sometimes. But she's a sweetheart. She's just a real sweet, sweet girl who really wants to please. And she's got some obstacles from her past, but we're doing everything we can to get through them.
How would you describe her personality?
Arabians tend, in my opinion, to be really social animals. They like their buddies, they like people. You often hear Beauty nickering to other horses as they're even being walked around the farm. Or if a human's coming up close, she's giving soft little nickers, which is really, really sweet. Feed time is always fun. She sings a little song. But yeah, just very pleasant. She's great with other animals. The other horses and everything. She's been really gentle, and we've introduced her to different types of horses, and every single one of them she's gotten along with. She's also a horse that I trust with volunteers that might be a little bit less experienced. She has a lot of years behind her of knowledge. If she could tell us all the things she's experienced, I bet you it would be a pretty long list. I mean, she might even have been a kid's 4-H horse. We don't know. She's just done a ton of stuff in her past. Because of her age and the physical limitation when she came in, you could tell that she had been really abused. There are some, old bow tendons and other things in her legs that you just think, I don't want to push her to be a riding horse again. She doesn't have to be. She has value to us, and I believe to adopters, as a great companion and a pet. And Jane can talk a little bit more about what she does with her that enjoys her as a non-riding horse.
Yeah, so what are some of Beauty's favorite things to do with you?
Well, she loves grazing, obviously. She really likes the grass, and she can't have hay. She's really good about having a bath. We work hard, and she gets kind of sweaty in this warm weather. And she really doesn't object to a bath, which is nice, because a lot of horses just really don't care for it. She's, we walk around the property, we walk through the trails, we just like to go places. She likes to
I think often people ask me if there's any vices about the horses
Yeah.
as they're taking them on, and with her, one of the big refreshing things is when the day we showed up, she jumped right in the trailer, no problem. She had a lot of rain rot and fungus going on because of the starvation, and so we had to give her baths right away with medications. She was always lovely about everything. Good for the farrier, great for the vet, good with other horses. I just don't have anything except for the fact that a family needs to accept the responsibility of a horse that's aged, that will take, time. She's got years ahead of her as a senior horse, and in that she's going to require senior feed, which is a price that people have to understand. I think on a monthly dose, she's about 9 pounds of senior, so under $200, but we're careful to know that the family knows that's a financial commitment.
And she's barefoot.
Yeah, so for people that don't know a lot about horses, barefoot, that means she doesn't need to have
She
horse
doesn't
shoes
have
on.
shoes, right? So it's a cheaper visit from the
Just
the trimmer than it is from the farrier.
Yeah, just a trim and
Yeah.
not a shoeing. So it sounds like she's come a long way since she came to Safe, other than having some dietary needs where she needs to have senior feed and not hay, and not wanting to be a riding horse. Does she have any physical or behavioral issues that might be making it harder for her to get adopted?
No, I think the biggest thing has been the senior feed. We've had a couple people come take a look at her and understood that financially it would cost money to keep her, and so that turned them away. So we're looking for somebody who understands that 20 Arabians do tend to live quite a long time. So she could be with a family for 10, 15 more years and going strong, which is also important too. A lot of people shy away from a 20-year-old horse thinking, oh, I'll only have it for a few years. I don't want the heartache of losing them. Well, this gal, she probably will stay around quite a bit, so. She's
Looks like she's really enjoying it.
She likes her scratches.
Now you said if she could tell her story that she'd probably have a lot to say. If she could describe her ideal home situation, what do you think she would have to say about that?
I think she'd have kids involved.
She's pretty good with kids.
Kids, maybe some horsey friends.
Yes.
And then here at Safe,
buddies,
she's not in a stall. She gets to be on pasture, and that's probably good for her joints
Yeah.
and for her mental health as well. Do you think she would want room to roam as well?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah, the more you get to
Yeah.
move, the less
Yeah.
arthritis is going to build up. So sitting in a stall too long can be hard on older horses. So it's really nice if at least they have, a lot of people have a great stall with attached runs and then off to pasture at different times. You do need to separate her from other horses while feeding so that she could have her senior without having to fight off other horses because
It's delicious.
It's
and we all
delicious
like
and the
it.
other horses are going to want it. Also, because of her teeth, we are worried about choke. We don't want her to get mouthfuls of lots of big hay and have an issue with choke. We haven't had any choke, but we've also been cautious and let her graze on grass, but not have hay. Yeah. Somebody that wants to do stuff too. I think that the mares, these Arabian mares, they are brilliant animals, and they have a tendency to want to be having a job or something, and they feel more at ease and relaxed in their life if they have something to do. So doing things like going on trail walks or being able to have another horse for companionship is really important. I think somebody could enjoy taking her. We have like places like Bollinger Park in Washington. They're beautiful, kind of fun obstacle course training. If anybody's looked at, she would do great at going with somebody on the ground and they have lessons for people to take groundwork in obstacle tours. She has so much more life than just a senior horse that's she's around. She's got stuff to do and she's sound. So we're not worried about her having some fun and going and moving around. So.
Yeah, she's definitely still has some spunk in her eyes there. So if somebody sees her story and they think that they have the perfect home for her, how do they reach out to Safe?
On the website, we have our application process. You fill out the application. Due to COVID, we're making sure to do phone interviews beforehand to make sure that we have the right match for someone to come out and meet. And then I call it dating, have people come out a few times, get to meet the horses and feel really comfortable with the one they decide on. And then we'll do reference checks and a virtual site visit. People then can take the horse home and adopt them. Her adoption fee as a companion is $300, and we do a 30-day trial. So if there was any reason that they needed to rehome her after, or didn't work out in those 30 days, we would rather take them back than have the person forced to try to find a home that they don't really get along with or know.
Yeah.
And then we do annual site visits with all of our horses. So she would be checked on by safe volunteers once a year so that she stays part of our community. And if ever she has a problem in the future, SAFE would be there to help step in. So they have a lifetime of safety once they've come in through our doors.
It's wonderful to know that that safety net is there for them. Well, here's to hoping that somebody sees Beauty's segment and they fall in love with her. She seems like just the most wonderful, sweet old Arabian mare with lots of life and years left to live. So thank you both, Jane and
Thank you.
Carrie, for joining us today.
Thank you.
And this has been Tracy with the Limelight Pet Project, and we shine the light on harder to adopt pets because their stories are worth telling.